The
We're
broadcast is
live.
live.
Hello,
Hi,
hello,
everybody.
everybody. Hey, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad to be back in the Crone zone.
Oh,
Yay!
we're glad to be here. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's
Anytime,
great to
ladies.
see you this morning.
It's great to see you as well. So coming to us from beautiful Florida, where it's having a little bit of the rainy season, right?
Yes, it
Right.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
I remember when I lived there. I lived in Panama City, so I'm probably about as far away from you as
Yeah,
you
we're
are.
at the
Mother used to live
southernmost
there.
point.
You're in the southern tip, yeah.
Yeah, we're
But
the
it's
Yeah.
really
southern
My brother
beautiful
used
there.
to teach flying there.
Oh, really? Oh,
Mhm.
that's wonderful. Oh, wow. Yeah, I lived there for about a year and I really loved it. But we would get some really massive thunder and lightning there. And
Well, you
I
may hear
think,
some.
yeah,
We may be having some of that this morning.
okay, as long as it doesn't hit you in any way, then we're all
Nah.
set. But
Nah.
yeah. When I lived in Texas, though, it was worse because I remember, and sitting in my house, and all of a sudden I heard a loud slam, and it was a huge tree that got hit by lightning and leaned onto my neighbor's roof. And
Oh,
it didn't
no.
fall on it. It just like leaned a little, but still. And I
Scary.
remember running over there. I didn't know them that well. And I'm banging on the door and telling them, that this tree is there. Because
Where
you
in
don't know
Texas
that well.
were you living?
I lived in Kingwood, which is outside of Houston.
Houston, right?
It's
I'm
east
from
of
Fort
Houston.
Worth.
Oh,
I'm
you
from-
are?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm originally from Fort
okay.
Worth, and my daughter lived in Dallas, and
Uh-huh.
she had a tree fall on her house during one of those horrendous thunderstorms about 4 years ago.
Yep.
Crashed right
It's
through the roof of their
Oh, I
house.
believe it. I
It was
believe it. I don't
horrible.
think I've ever seen thunderstorms as bad as I did when I was in Texas.
I think you're right. I think they have
Yeah.
the worst thunderstorms I've ever seen, and I've
Yeah.
been a lot of places. Lived a
Me
lot of
too.
places,
Oh,
but
I've lived in 11 different states,
yeah.
and I lived there for about 8 years, and it wasn't by choice because I didn't care for it there. But anyway, you could deal
I
with
think
it.
I
But
jumped from the frying pan into the fire when I'm in
yeah, you did.
Florida.
I know. Yeah, you really did. But still, you were in a beautiful area, and
Mhm.
you've got the ocean there. Oh my God, that's wonderful.
All around
So
the Gulf on one side of the island and the Atlantic on the other.
That's
on
true.
the other,
It's pretty
that's
awesome and
I
fabulous.
bet it is. I
Yeah.
bet it is. I bet
And it
it is.
never even, it doesn't get as hot as Texas did.
No, not at all.
No, I agree with you there. I
Have
do.
we ever
Although,
seen 100 degrees here?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
90s
Really?
is so hot here.
yeah, that's very true.
You add
Thank
the
God you have a
humidity and
pool.
it's there.
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, there's a little bit of the ocean breeze too coming. I don't know how close you are to the ocean.
Sometimes.
You can't be very far. It's only a 2x4 island.
That's true.
And we actually do kind of live in the middle of it.
Well,
But we
that's
do
kind
get
of good
breeze.
though. Nothing wrong with that. You don't need the ocean at your front door,
No,
I mean, sometimes the
hurricane season, you really don't want to. I don't want to live on the ocean
No.
front.
No, I
like
don't blame you.
that. I'm
No.
perfectly happy to be protected in the center.
yeah.
Really. Yeah, that's true. And before you said that you were put there to protect that area, and I believe it. So, that's very powerful. So I'm going to say hello to a few people, and then I wanted to ask you some questions about your Mount Shasta trip, and then we'll
Sure.
talk a little bit more about intuition and discernment. So hi, Sharon and Kate and Terry and Cat Mama, Jan's Free. Hi, Andrea. I always feel like Miss Nancy on Romper Room.
And
Juno's
I
there.
see.
I spy you. Craig and Juno and Debbie Kane. Good to see you. Yes,
Hi,
everybody.
all you guys. I know
Hi,
most of these
Heather.
people.
Mhm.
Yeah. Sherry. Goodness, Wiki. Oh, it's so good to see you. Thank you all for coming and spending some time. Oh, Juno says it's been cooler there where she lives
In Arizona.
than in
Yeah.
Texas. Wow. Did you see that there was torrential rains in Las Vegas
No.
about a week, or you probably were in Shasta at that time, but it was like, it was so torrential that there was like floods rolling in the streets. It was unreal because it never rains there.
Wow,
Yeah.
never.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
I kind
Yep.
of feel that way about Arizona, but they did have that monsoon season.
that's true. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow. So, all right, ladies. So you flew to Shasta, or you flew to somewhere near there.
Sacramento. We flew to
You
Sacramento
flew to
and drove.
Sacramento. Okay.
And
Right.
drove. And that was a strange drive because most of it was flat orchards and a lot of them were olive orchards, which I found
Ooh.
really interesting. I didn't know we had olive oil in California.
We had
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
fire.
And there was a fire while we
Oh
were
yeah, the
there.
wildfires are
Yeah, there was
bad.
a wildfire, and Heather got some really interesting pictures of huge airplanes flying through the smoke. I'm
Oh,
sure they were some kind
dropping
of
the water and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
I
Yeah.
didn't see any dropping the water, but then they would disappear in the smoke cloud, so you really couldn't see what they were
Couldn't tell if
doing.
they were doing anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then I have to say the drive from as soon as you hit the foothills, it was gorgeous.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know.
Just
I came down the other way because I would have come from Washington when I went there. And
Right.
it's gorgeous there. Yeah.
It was a beautiful
is.
drive, and
It
the
is.
roads are so good. I couldn't believe
Really?
the roads up to Mount Shasta. Well, we stayed in Dunsmuir and
Okay.
then drove about, I don't know, what's it, 10 miles, I guess, to Mount Shasta City. And then
Uh-huh.
it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Mount
Sure.
Shasta. I mean, it's really
Yeah,
just
not
right
too
there.
bad.
And the roads
yeah.
are
it's right
beautiful.
there.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like Colorado roads where they're skinny and you think you're going to fall off the other side.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yep.
These-
Except when you're going to where we stayed.
Oh, that was a different mountain. That was a different mountain. That wasn't really Mount Shasta, though.
No, that was.
Oh, I'll tell
That
you,
was another
I-
story.
Had one side
That was
with
another
trees and
story.
the other side dropping straight down.
Yeah.
So
It was wild.
That I have to bring this up. My ex-husband and I went to Switzerland, and we decided that we were going to go from one area to another. And there was a mountain there we had to go over. We had an older car that we rented. And so we start up this pass. And so we're going through the pass, and it's all of a sudden it's black. There's no lights. There's nothing. And I'm on the passenger side, and I can look straight down
Oh, I just so don't like that.
about 100,000 feet. I know,
Yeah.
about 5,000
You can look
feet
at
or whatever.
trees.
To hell.
Tops.
It goes to hell. That's where
It does. And I said, oh my God. And it was called the Furka Pass. So nobody go on the Furka Pass at night. But we got halfway up the mountain finally, because it was a 1-lane road, and there was this
like that.
hotel there. And I said, I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what's happening. I said, go in there and get us a room, So he
Amen.
went in, and everybody in there, he says to somebody, do you have any rooms? And everybody in the it wasn't a casino, but it was like a bar. They all turned around and looked at him because they're all German speaking or and he's speaking English. It was the worst. Oh my God. It was, I don't know how we got through. I really don't. But yes,
I've had a
those
couple of
mountain stories are
experiences
unreal.
like that. Yes.
Yes. Oh, wow. So I guess you made it to the hotel though.
We stayed in a
Verbo.
Verbo.
Oh, Verbo. Okay.
A little cottage, and it was up a different mountain, and it was a one-way road,
Oh boy.
one lane
Yeah.
basically,
Mhm.
unpaved. And luckily, they made a
Part
mistake at the car place and gave us a 4-wheel drive Chevy Suburban. So
They knew.
thank
Oh,
you,
these
universe.
ladies look like they need one. Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah, thank you, universe. We did need it, actually. I mean, we could have done it in another car, but it would have been more horrible.
Oh, sure.
But the view
Sure.
was fantastic. It was like going through a magical forest.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was just beautiful. And
I'd say it was half paved.
well, it was paved halfway, and then it was half
Halfway.
paved, and then it wasn't paved.
Once you got there, did you have to then turn around and go back to the town to get your groceries and things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, of course you did.
Of
Yeah.
course we did.
Yeah. Okay. Oh,
But
dear.
it was fine. We actually met Dr. Gale for breakfast, and
Oh, good. Yeah.
at the Black Bear Cafe or something like that.
Yeah, it's like that. It's been
And
there
the
for a
food was
long
great.
time.
It's I think a small chain in California, but the food was great and it was fun and big windows. The nice thing about it was there weren't a lot of people in Mount Shasta at the time. You would see hikers here and there, but
Yep.
I expected it's summertime. Kids are out of school. It's going to be packed with people.
No,
And
it
it wasn't at all. It was delightful.
It
I mean,
wasn't
no
when I
lines
went there.
going up the mountain or anything, the mountain road or anything. You get to
Yep.
the summit, you could park.
Yeah.
And that was a really spiritual spot. I
bet.
know it had little tables and chairs, picnic tables, picnic tables and
Uh-huh.
stuff. And it was the last parking place before you could hike up to the mountain. So it was pretty
Mhm.
high.
Mhm.
And there was a huge, what is it? Maze there.
Right.
Oh.
It's like a prayer circle maze.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
kind
like
of,
a labyrinth?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah.
large labyrinth.
Uh-huh.
But the energy up there,
Oh, yeah.
the more you got into the mountain, the more you would smile. It's just
Sure. Yes.
Yeah,
Just
so
I
when
agree
you
with you.
left, you knew you had to come back.
yes. As soon
Right.
as I would leave, I need to go back.
Right. Right. It calls to you. I agree with
Oh,
that.
it
I
really
do.
did. But the
Mhm.
labyrinth was wonderful, and I walked the
Mhm.
labyrinth. And as I got to the center, I had brought an offering for the mountain,
Mhm.
and I put it down in the center. And as I stood up, I felt a presence of just
Okay.
unconditional love, which I
Yes.
realized was Saint Germain, who I
Right.
didn't really know anything about.
Yep. Violet
And
flame. Mhm.
I just tears just started streaming
Oh,
down my
sure.
face. That feeling of unconditional love is so
Yeah. And
amazing.
the power. Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah. And
It,
That's
it's very,
wonderful.
very strong because I don't generally feel these
Uh-huh.
different vibrations, but I felt that. And
yeah.
Yeah.
that's the first time I've really felt
She
it.
actually had the same experience, even though I had done it and walked away. I think I was over at the picnic table talking to Dr. Gale, and she
Uh-huh.
came back and basically said the same thing that happened to me.
I
So that
understand.
was,
Yeah.
I've only had that happen in a couple of places. One of them was on that trip to Switzerland, but it was in Mount Pilatus in Austria. And I got to the top of the mountain, and all of a sudden, one of the Swiss Air Force planes comes over, not too close,
yeah.
farther enough away. And I just felt at one with the earth. It felt like I was a part of the earth. The earth was a part of me, and I was almost floating. That's how it felt.
Isn't it amazing?
It
I
is.
want to do
It
that
is.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And that was a long time ago. I felt that way at Shasta. I felt that way at Sedona.
Me too.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I love my mountain, Mount Rainier out here. I call it my mountain. It's not just mine, but every time I see it, because you can't see it all the time, it's in cloud cover.
Mhm.
And so when you see it, even though you're far away from it, it's like, takes your breath away. It's just,
I've never
it's
seen
amazing.
it in person. I've never been up
I
there.
hope you get up here.
I do too. I've always wanted to go to Oregon and Washington.
Yeah. Yeah.
So far,
It's
I haven't.
really beautiful. Yeah.
Who knows?
It's really funny. When I first moved here, everybody wanted to come to Washington, and I had more house guests than you could imagine within the first year. Everybody
Yes.
Oh,
came.
yeah. Well,
And I
We
think that
understand
we
that.
understand
you
that.
do understand that. And I think Dr. Gale is dealing with that. I think she's got all
Yeah.
these folks coming out to be with her. She's not lonely at all. I think it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's
That's-
lucky to get anything done.
Yes.
I think there's quite a few people that have been up there now.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. Danny and Kim and some of the others. Yep. I know. That's wonderful. Wow.
I think we should all go up there together.
Could have a pilgrimage.
I think we should have some kind of meeting up there with
There
a
you
bunch
go.
of the YouTube peoples and
Yes. Right in the labyrinth.
oh my god.
That is labyrinth is very powerful. I studied labyrinths,
are.
and
Yes.
and they're just, you go into, and then when you come out, you're a different person. You
It's
come
true.
out. Yeah,
Yep.
it is. It is.
And one of the planes where they had it's a natural circle. It never
You're talking the
goes
sand flats.
the sand flats.
Right.
Oh,
That was
It has
another.
3 or 4 different circles in it.
Yeah, there were
People-
several.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Lots
people
of
had.
labyrinth.
But that was a really interesting spot because they say a UFO landed there.
Yeah.
Nothing grows there except
Right.
for a little wild grass or whatever, but it's surrounded by the forest. Just
Uh-huh.
you can stand on one end and just see the circle of the forest around you.
Mhm.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Absolutely. Well,
And
there's
it was
a
very
book
powerful.
about that. There's a book that was written, or I've seen somewhere, about the people that live in Shasta that are
Mhm.
ETs.
The Lemurians.
The Lemurians. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I was contacted by one before I left,
Uh-huh.
and I can't ever remember his name when I'm trying to think of it. Can you remember his name?
It was a different name. I don't.
Lindell. His name was
That's it.
Lindell.
Oh,
His name
okay.
was
Not Mike
Lindell.
Lindell, not the pillow guy.
I know,
Okay.
right? That's what I first thought. Really? You're going to give me that name?
Really, I know.
And I had an experience with him on the mountain, and I don't remember a lot of it, but I just know I got a lot of downloads, and there's been a whole lot of things that I have been processing since I got back.
Okay.
But personal things, not.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of.
And that's all right.
So that was pretty interesting.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Taking
When
it
I
in,
went,
taking
we
pictures
stayed
and really
in.
odd shots.
What's that? I'm sorry, Heather.
When
What did
you're taking your phone and taking pictures, you get some odd shots.
Oh, yes. She got a lot of things showing up in photographs that aren't explained. A lot of them look like little shadows, but they'd be in different places. It'd be like at the next frame, the shadow would be somewhere else. Those kind of things.
Yeah, that
Yes.
you don't see.
You don't see them, but they show up.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you know
Yes.
it's not a spot on your camera or your lens because they're never the same.
It's not, it's never in the same spot. But the coolest one that she got was 2 pictures of the mountain from where we were staying.
I stared at it for a long time. I'm going, what the? And this, I should be taking a picture of this.
There was no mountain in one of the pictures. It was just not there.
Sometimes
the next
look and
frame,
there was the mountain. The next time I looked, there was no mountain there. I'm going, huh?
I think it shifts back and forth between 3 and 5D.
I think you're right. No, I
think
do.
that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, because
I
there was
agree.
absolutely nothing there.
It was really
And
the
it's
next
from exactly the same spot.
From exactly the same spot, the same minute. It was one picture, then another. Well, she took a whole bunch of them actually, but they were right next to each other. You would see the mountain, and then you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird.
That's really something. Wow.
lot of
I love
strange
that.
energy.
I love that. That's so cool, though. It really is.
It was.
So when we went there, we came, like I say, we came down through Oregon and came into California that way. And we stopped at this place called Weed. I don't know if you saw that Weed.
Yeah,
it isn't.
we went to
Weed.
Weed.
Yeah. We were in Weed. So we went to this place to park our RV, and they said, "Oh, you can use all the facilities here. It's like a healing place. You can get a massage. You can do all that."
Oh, how
that's
lovely!
Yeah. So my husband and I go, and we get our suits on, and we go to get into the beautiful pool type. It's like a pool, freshwater pool. And next thing I know, I've got 3 or 4 naked people walking by. And I didn't want to, it's fine. I don't care. I don't want to necessarily be naked, but I didn't care if they were. But I didn't know it was clothing optional. So you have to ask those questions, I guess, if that bothers you.
Luckily, I missed that.
Well, yeah, we had this,
Or oh darn.
Next time when we all go.
There's another wonderful place. Did you go to the Peace Garden?
Uh-huh.
I
think so.
It's
because we
actually
also went down by the lake. We stayed by the lake that's there as well.
Okay,
but I think
the Peace
I saw
Garden
that.
is in town. It's
yes,
the
I did see
Gateway
it.
Peace Garden.
Yep.
And a local couple bought the property and just planted a few plants, and now there's like 15 different rooms and a labyrinth of lavender. It's just the most incredible place you've ever seen.
Oh, I need to go back.
All over the place, and they have there was even a big tool chest full of prayer flags. So if you didn't have one, you just get one.
Oh,
yeah, you could.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's people wonderful. Take necklace, all kinds of stones and necklaces and bracelets and you name it, and they leave it there. Yeah. So we actually took a prayer flag and
prayer flags.
Yep.
Some other little things we picked up and left in there, but beautiful energy there.
A little piece of yourself is in the Peace Garden. That's
absolutely
the cool thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I haven't been for probably, I think it's been more like 14 years since I was there. It's been a while.
I have to go
Sounds like I
back.
need to go
They
back.
also have a labyrinth.
Oh, they do. Yeah. A
Yeah.
lavender one. Is
A
that what you
lavender
said?
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the lavender one.
And since they weren't in bloom, I started walking it because if they were in bloom, I couldn't get near it.
They were in
Oh,
bloom. She didn't
allergy.
notice all the way around it. It was in bloom. I was
But not
going doing
inside.
this. No, not inside.
Not inside. They
I
weren't
was
in
doing
bloom.
this.
I know.
Oh
It's
no,
so
and I was
wonderful.
doing the opposite. I was staying away.
What I love is sometimes that they're very. You only have a very small pathway.
It was
to go
tiny.
through.
It's very,
Yeah,
very small.
so that you can
have to
brush
walk
it
like
as you go
this.
by. Yeah.
Yes.
You brush the lavender on your legs. Yeah.
Yes. This one was very narrow. I've never seen one quite this narrow, but it really was just wide enough for your feet.
Yeah, it's just
I believe it. Yeah, I believe it.
Was it expensive?
You know.
Not really. No.
No,
I'm not sure that
that's
we're
good.
a good judge of expensive because we live in Key West and it's
And Key
very
West
expensive.
is expensive.
That's true. Depending
And
on where you
California
live,
in general is pretty expensive, isn't
it
it?
is. Yeah. Yep. People tell me it's expensive to live here in Washington State, and it probably is. But I was in Boston, so it's equal.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
thought of it as being anything different. Yeah, but it depends. Yep.
Yeah. I don't think
Oh.
I don't think it was particularly expensive. The food anyway.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Kate, you're a riot.
Yeah.
Oh,
Friend
that's
indeed
good.
is a friend indeed. That's
So,
great.
did you attend any kind of, I guess, events with Dr. Gale or any?
No, actually, we didn't. We went up the first time we went up the mountain. We had met Dr. Gale for breakfast, and she took us up the mountain, or we followed her up the mountain. Then we stayed, and she went and did whatever. And
Whatever she
then
does.
we hired a shaman and went up to Panther Meadows and did some work on Mother Earth and Panther Meadows.
Yeah, the energy there needed some work, and so we were working on that.
But we kind of
Great.
do that wherever we go.
I know.
Yeah, yeah.
And she took us to where the springs come out before the
In the city
headwaters.
park,
Yeah,
Yeah.
everybody's
Okay.
in there getting their water,
getting their fresh
Sure.
water.
because you can drink it
Yeah.
straight out.
Sure,
And it's
I believe
so
it.
delicious and cold and refreshing.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And
that's
it's
great.
strictly, I mean, it's straight out of the mountain.
Right. Yep. No, nothing better than that kind of water.
Oh, it was
really.
beautiful.
Yeah. No,
And
it
in
is.
Panther Meadows, there were springs all over the place. We didn't drink from it, but we did
Right,
wash our
right.
hands in the water. And
Sure.
And she told me to stick my I had my necklace on that's all
moss
darker
agate.
stones.
It's moss agate.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Moss agate. Yeah.
Well, when I did, you could see it change. You actually could see it change color from being dark to being much lighter.
It was the strangest thing. She stuck
was
it in
like-
the water.
And it was like,
Yeah.
here's part of the strand knot, and it's super dark. And then you have some that's in the water, and it is so light. So
And sparkling, and
it was unbelievable.
it changed the stones.
Yeah.
I believe it. I believe it. I
I've
believe
never seen anything like it.
I had a piece of lepidolite once, which is a purple stone, and it was very light, and I had it on my like this against
Mhm.
my,
Mm-hmm.
and it changed to a dark purple, and the red rubelites popped out of it, and
Wow.
and it shattered, and somebody said that stone was done with you.
I
So I
guess
couldn't-
so. That makes
it was.
sense.
Yeah.
Well, she had a crystal that happened to that changed color on her.
I had a smoky quartz,
Uh-huh.
and within a year or two, it was pure clear.
You
Even
cleared
the
that
person that
sucker.
gave it to me says, "That's the stone I gave you." I said, "Just never went clear on me." I said, "Yeah, well, it's absolutely clear." When I gave it
Strange.
away, it was absolutely clear.
You have the stone energy then. You absolutely have the stone
Mhm.
energy. You know what I mean? There are some people that they really speak to, and others not so much, but they're still powerful and will work for people. But there are some people that are just stone people, I guess. That's what they call them, you know?
That must be why they told you not to work with them in the
Yeah,
beginning.
they told me I had to get rid of all my stones when I first.
Yeah, when
started
we
working.
first started working together, we were both told to get rid of our crystals. We were
Who
like,
wants to do
what?
that? Yeah.
We did.
Okay.
And now we have now we're
Now you have a whole bunch
crystallizing
more.
all
Yeah.
over
Now we're
again.
getting some, but I
Wow.
But I
they
think
told you why. Didn't
they said they wanted us to learn to work through the energies that we were using without a crutch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
I didn't understand it
Yeah,
at first, but they
I
didn't
didn't
tell us
understand
that
either.
at first. We didn't understand that till years
Sure.
later that it
Yeah.
was
that and one of the things that your husband told me was that the energies were using my energy,
yes.
and so they wanted me to get away from the stones so that I used my energy.
I get it. So they were taking that from you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, hopefully now it sounds like your energy is giving back to the stones from that clearing. That's
But
Yeah.
the
fabulous.
clearing was before I even
Yeah, the clearing was way back when,
way
before I even
back.
met her.
It was using my
Okay.
energy.
It was using her energy to clear itself, I guess.
That was there.
But I've
That's
never
cool,
been a
but
huge
weird.
stone person anyway. I like
No.
I like sparkly things. So I mean, I like crystals, but they
Right,
don't
right.
speak to me like
I
they
find
do
them.
other people.
I find
Cool.
them that way too. Yeah. Craig goes to.
Yeah.
He's Native American, so he says he can see people in the stones. That's fabulous, Craig.
That's
I
interesting,
have looked in
Craig.
some crystals and been able to see things.
It's it's like the crystal ball. You
Yeah.
know, that's the original thought of a crystal ball, that you could see what was going on in there. So
Mhm.
yeah,
But it's funny because I personally prefer a crystal ball that's not crystal clear.
I understand. No, I do. Yep. You want to do the clearing yourself or work with the energy yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fabulous. I would have thought they would have said, why don't you make sure you clear this, bring it to a moving stream or put it under the moon or whatever it was. I'm surprised they told you to throw them away.
Well, they just said, "Don't you need to get them out of
Don't
your
use them.
face."
All right. Put them in a
Not
box
to
or
use,
something.
not throw
Okay.
them away.
It wasn't. No, I couldn't even keep them. I had to get rid of them.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So,
Wow.
but I used to have a friend that would tell me, "You have the strangest knack of picking up the most filthy piece of crystal or rock that they'd ever seen." And I
Uh-huh.
figured they were calling to me because they wanted cleaned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's
Interesting.
why
Yep.
I was called to them.
That makes sense.
Wow. Very, very
Well,
cool.
I did pick up a Citrine Pyramid.
Okay.
Scott Allen told me one day that I needed a yellow crystal.
Show me
Yep.
Christine, Chris. This
I don't
one.
have it. Oh, that's okay. Later. It's not crystal.
Oh, it's
It's got
plastic.
citrine inside. It's
It's one of the Oregon ones. Yeah, I
yes,
love those.
it's an Oregon.
They're beautiful.
Oregon
Yeah.
one. Anyway, so I got this crystal, and there's two entities in it, and they talk to me.
That's
Two
wonderful.
feminine energies that wanted to experience life as a crystal, and I was like, okay, sounds good to me. I
At
never
least you're not by yourself, you know.
like that. She brought her best friend.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
and the crystal knew there were two of you working on the same type of thing, so wanted you to work together with them. Wow, that's awesome.
Isn't
Wow.
that crazy?
Yeah, crazy.
It is. Wow. So thank you for sharing all of that with us. That's so wonderful. I'm so glad you went. You were there, what, 4 or 5 days?
4 or 5 days, I think, total.
5 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I'm ready
great.
to go back.
I bet.
Different place to stay in
Yes.
town.
Yes. Oh, I highly
And I think
recommend
people
staying
get called
in
to certain
town.
places. Yeah. Uh-huh. Wow.
Because then
that's
you're right there.
Uh-huh.
And
You're literally 5 minutes from the mountain when
I
you
mean,
stay in
the
Mount
view from
Shasta
where we
City.
stayed was gorgeous, except when the mountain wasn't there. But the view was
Right.
just
But it was
one
there.
part.
It was just taking a rest. That's all.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Right. But getting there was an adventure.
I bet it was. I bet it was. No,
It
I
usually
agree.
is when we go somewhere.
I even have a picture of the train going across the train. You know, the arms came down and it went across. I took a video of that train going.
There you go. Why not? That's
Why
right. You were on the right track. That's what you
We were.
You were. Yeah. Well, this, actually, a lot of what you've told us today about your trip has a lot to do with intuition and discernment.
does.
There was something that called you ladies there. I don't know if Dr. Gale was the call, or you just
Oh no,
had that.
actually,
You had
I
it
didn't
before
even
that.
I didn't even know
Hmm.
Dr. Gale was there when we got the call to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Yeah.
months before we knew.
Months
Yeah.
before you knew her. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
did
just
you go?
contacted her and told her we were coming up there and we'd love to meet her, and she was
Sure.
lovely, and we
Uh-huh.
met her and got along great,
That's
and
good.
then she did a show with us. We did a live show. I mean, we'd really known her 5 minutes when we did a show from the porch of the little
I'm gonna watch
cabin
that
we were
then. I didn't
staying
know
on.
that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we were just. It was an interesting show. We had a
flat tire.
and they were up putting it on, so every once in a while you could hear the little rat-a-tat-tat,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
or the buzz of it going on.
I
So I'm
know.
not even on camera at the beginning of it because I'm giving the guy the key to the car so he can change the flat.
Right.
I run in and then I have to go out and pay him. It's just,
it was an interesting segue.
I don't know what it is, but flat tires, of course, are just stopping points, and they
on top of a mountain.
on top of a mountain. For me, it was going through Navajo Nation. I was going through Navajo Nation with a pop-up camper, and I kept seeing all these signs that said flat tire fix, fix your flat tire, fix all down the road. And I'm going, why is, this is crazy.
What is that?
What is that? And then I got a flat tire. And I said, oh my God, it's a power of suggestion. It really
It is. It
Yeah.
is. That's what
It
it
is.
was. Well,
Yeah,
I
it
have
was.
never had a flat tire on a rental car
Right.
before. I mean,
Right.
I was really surprised, but
And we both knew that when he said, "Oh, I don't see anything, so I'll air it up and you go on home," and I'm going, "We're gonna have a flat tire in the morning,"
and it was.
and you knew it.
Oh,
And it
yeah.
was.
Yeah, there's your intuition again. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's your
Yep.
intuition again.
But it,
Yeah.
it didn't interfere with anything really.
No, I know. No, you made the best of it, is what you
Yeah.
did. Yeah.
Just deal with it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
No
Yeah.
point in getting excited about something you can do nothing about.
exactly.
That's absolutely true, and it's taken me years to figure that out. But yes, absolutely. And I do believe it's
Mhm.
like when you're supposed to leave at 9 and you don't get a chance to leave, and things happen and you can't leave till 10.
Mhm.
And then you're on your way and there's a terrible accident somewhere, and you say to yourself, okay, your guides just protected you
Absolutely.
and
I
put
used to
that in
go
your
to-
way.
I used to
Yeah.
commute to work like that, and there were sometimes I just could not get out of the house. But on the way to work, I'd run across a place where there was an accident on the highway, and I'm going, "Okay, I just missed that."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, you were meant to be at a certain place at a certain time, and, and then you ran into somebody that you knew, and I don't mean crashed, but,
Mhm.
you
Yes.
saw them there. Yes. We don't want to have that happen. But
No.
yeah, and you wouldn't have gone there normally, or there would have been something else. And so all of that is really intuition.
It is.
And synchronicity on such a gut level. And once you open yourself up to being able to free yourself of trying to control something, it seems that we listen
and
more.
stop not reacting to it rather than going,
Yeah.
and sitting back and watching and seeing it. And that's again discernment and intuition.
It is. It is.
You need both of them.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
intuition without discernment is just a thought.
It is
Yeah.
just a thought. No, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right, Heather.
Because the discernment makes you act on it. Yes
Mhm.
or
It
no.
does. It does. I had this conversation recently with some other ladies on another channel, and we were talking about the difference between judgment and discernment.
Yeah, there's a big difference.
There is a big difference.
Yeah, judgment is more the lack of discernment, if you ask me. It's more emotional. Judgment's
It is more.
emotional, or discernment is neutral.
Now,
Neutral.
To
Like
me,
intuition, it's more neutral.
and to me, judgment is ego-based and discernment is heart-based.
Yes.
Heart-based. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
There's a difference.
Because if
There
you
is.
go with your feeling with intuition and discernment, you go with your feeling. If you go
Right.
with your head, then all your programming gets involved.
It does. It does. And then that idea of duality, that it has to be either this or that. and
Yes.
there's nothing in between, you know.
And it's
yeah,
everything in between.
it is everything in between. It is. That I remember first meeting a boss that my husband and I had, and she came in the room like a bull in a china shop. She was in charge, you know those types.
Yeah.
And she said, everything to me is black and white. Nothing is a shade of gray. And I just want you to know that right from the beginning. And so we thought, oh, great. We're going to have a great time with this one, you know.
Yeah.
And we found out later, not much later, she was colorblind.
Oh.
And
interesting.
That wasn't what she
Huh.
meant. That wasn't what she meant, of course,
Right.
'cause everything she saw was a shade of gray, actually. But
Yeah.
she had owned that so much that everything was black and white, black and white, black and white, that her sight became that way. And
Wow.
of course, I couldn't tell her that because she
Right.
was, you know, so 3D and so
Yeah.
ego based that, you know, there was nothing I could do to tell her that. But I thought if she could only open herself up to the colors of life, she would have a much more beautiful experience. You know,
Yes.
so that's another thing. You have to be careful with your words. Very
Right.
careful.
And
Because they're spells.
I
Words
kind
are
of feel
spells.
like for her, that was her protection mechanism.
I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
she learned to cope with it.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg in this case, but you know, she did perpetuate it by saying
Right.
that. She told everybody that. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was the most stark realization I think I ever came to. Once I found out she was colorblind, it was like, oh my God, you know. And I don't think women in particular have that malady as much as men do.
No, they
Men have
don't.
it.
It's very
Yeah.
unusual for
Yeah.
women to have color blindness.
It
Yeah.
Mainly
is.
male.
Right.
It is. Yeah.
From what I
so-
remember in my nursing days
In
many
your
years
nursing
ago.
Uh-huh.
That would account. That would account for a lot of the males. It's this way or it's this way.
Hmm.
Because if they're colorblind and nobody knows it, that's
Right.
all they see.
Interesting. I had never thought about that, putting it like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of men
It makes
are that
sense.
way. I mean,
Well, they're from working. A lot of men work from a logical mind, you know, the
Right.
analytical and women. There are some women that are the same way, but men don't tend to think about their feelings as much. We women go, "What are you feeling? What are you feeling?" And they're like,
True.
"Leave me alone,"
well,
you know.
men are also taught to be a lot more left brain than right.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
their
right.
right brain
Even
is
if
not
they're
encouraged.
right-brained, they are
Right.
taught you need to be left brain.
Right. Yep. I mean, correct. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. No, I've
When they're
been married.
allowed to be whoever they want to be,
They are. Then it would be so much different, wouldn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
it is a lot
Yeah.
different.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a lot different for all of us if we could be
Yes.
who we are from the time we're born,
Exactly.
instead of being shaped by nonsense.
This is interesting, Sharon. Your son-in-law is colorblind, but he got glasses to put the color into
How
things.
cool is that?
That's cool. Yeah, I do know. I remember when I was in
That's neat.
education that, and of course I'm special education. So
Right.
I do remember that they were coming out with classes that would put color in for those who couldn't see it, and that was great. But you know, I never heard much about it. But
Yeah, no, I hadn't either. No, but I
That's
suppose if you
bit.
needed that, you'd be, you know, more out
Yeah.
there.
But
Yeah.
I agree with Andrea. Absolutely.
Okay.
Discernment is using your critical thinking
Mhm.
skills along with your intuition.
yeah,
That's true. And critical thinking skills are not ego.
No.
Right.
that's right.
No.
So
No.
that's right.
Yeah. It's using, and you know,
I don't
really
think she meant critical as in judgment.
no, I know she didn't. I know she didn't because
Yeah.
yeah.
Critical
But,
is taking facts and then having your own opinion.
And we lack this, and the reason I know for sure we do is because when I get to the college level, I will say to, what do you think about this? And they're like, me think about that, you know, used to regurgitation.
Feed it to me. That's what I'm going to think. What you tell me to think.
Hey, that's what they've been taught.
That's what they've been taught.
It's frightening.
Yes, and it's what we're seeing in the political climate. If we say it
It's
enough
everywhere.
times, it must be right. Yeah, it
The
is, but it
dumbing
must.
down of our educational system. But that's another
Yeah,
show.
Well,
it is another show,
yeah. But
but
I do
yeah, I
remember
know.
that in education, even education encourages left brain because they have a question and four answers.
Uh
When they
huh.
get to college level, they want you to write out in essays your answers. And the
Yes.
main difference
Yes.
is that you're telling them what you do know when you're writing it out.
Yeah.
The other test is what don't you know?
How did they not do that? That's how they did it when I was in school.
Exactly.
Everything was essay.
Essay.
I
We
Well,
didn't
only
have.
give.
those
Yeah,
are the ones that you're telling them what you know.
Yeah.
that's right. I
And
won't
but
use.
it's a right brain function, and they're
Yep.
still
I won't
going
use those
toward
kind of tests. I tell them I'm not a test person. You write me an essay. You tell me. You give me the information. I
right.
agree with that. I
I
did
always loved
poorly
multiple
on.
choice. We didn't have those very often. It was always essay, essay, essay.
I had one teacher that had like 25 questions on the test
Uh
and
huh.
25 answers.
Right.
And it took me a long time to convince him that he needed to break it down, and we would do it for him. We color coded so that we had 5 questions in one color and 5 answers. It
Okay.
limited their choices, but they
Yeah.
still had to come up with the same thing. They still had choices, but instead of
Right.
here's your question, which of these 25 is it?
I know
That's
there's too
crazy.
many. Yeah.
That's
That's
way too many.
crazy.
But that's what he
Uh
had
huh.
for everybody, and it took a long time for us to convince them that 5 is enough.
Yeah.
And we'll
Yeah.
put them anywhere. They know that that color, one of those, that color is the answer instead of
Yeah.
25.
Well, and the other thing is, and I know you know this too, Heather, that sometimes people will, teachers will, they'll say something and they'll just change a little tiny bit of the answer so that it's wrong.
Right.
Like, yeah, it's like it
There's
was
your
north,
question. What don't
the
you know?
north instead of the south, or yeah. And if
Yeah.
you don't know for sure, there goes
Right.
those 5 points. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you could
agree.
go through questions on those and say anything that says never or
Yeah,
anything that
yeah,
says
or
always.
always. That's
Just
right.
forget about those. Those are
Just
not the
forget
right
those.
answers.
Nothing is ever always. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep, absolutely. Junosphere says in Christian context, discernment is perception in the absence of judgment with a view to obtaining spiritual guidance. Oh, I love that. And
I
that's
like that one.
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
a spiritual
I saw
one
that.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I
I
want
love
your
it.
sphere, Juno. That's
I
beautiful.
know.
What kind of stone is that?
Is that apatite? Because that's what this
Gorgeous.
is. I know. It's got
That's
a little bit of
beautiful too.
green in it.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow.
I
It
love
is. It's
spheres.
beautiful. I know. Yeah, they're
Anything round.
beautiful. Yeah. Yep. Here's one. Instead of right and wrong, pivot to the right or the left. There you go.
That's cute.
It's like I would never correct in a red pen.
Me either. Oh, you and I have a lot in common. I won't do it. It looks like someone bled all over the paper otherwise.
And
Yeah.
I also learned that I would put a C for everything that's correct. They had to look awful hard to find out what they missed.
Right.
And
Right.
so it
That's
made
right.
more sense to them.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
They had to figure
Tricks
it
of
out.
the trade.
Oh yeah.
Tricks of the trade. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Sherry, I did not know that. I'll have to look and see. People wearing those colorized glasses, and
Cool.
they can see in color for the first time. Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
amazing that they can do that. That is
That
so
is.
fantastic.
I know. It really is. Yeah,
It is.
for sure. Discernment is needed in the psychic community. Absolutely. That's why I wanted to talk about it.
Amen,
as well.
sister.
Yeah. We can become lemmings until someone says, "Hey, what's that about? Why? How will these actions affect?" Absolutely. I say the same thing with readings when you're doing a
Mhm.
reading for somebody.
Oh yeah.
You can't say, "Well, this is a bad card." It's not a good idea.
Because it
Yeah.
may not be a bad card.
That's right. That's right.
I
That's
will
right.
say that special education, because each person is so individual. I was what they call an educational diagnostician. I had both taught, and then I was the one that said yes, or this is what you need to do. And
Mhm.
that was all from observation. It wasn't from the tests
Yeah.
that you had to give.
Right.
But
Right.
I always said that that opens you up
It does.
so that you have more possibilities of answers. I look at what the directions say are right for cards, and I don't always agree with it.
Right. Right.
You said,
Yeah, I don't either.
well, that may
And
be
that's
the
another
different
reason I
reading,
use
but
the oracles.
this
Yeah.
one, means this.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it can change.
It can change. And sometimes I'll read an oracle and there's a part of that oracle in the picture that I hadn't noticed before. And I'm thinking that was what I needed to know in order to
Exactly.
keep reading. Yes, absolutely.
You have
And I know the tarot readers have said that.
Discerning.
Yes.
And discerning. Think with your heart.
Think with your heart. Yes.
Yeah.
Her Juno's sphere is a chrysocolla.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I love the blues. Sherry says her brother teaches high school math. Well, that is really difficult to teach. But yes, to figure out how to solve a problem. You know what really blows my mind is that we have so many things at our fingertips right now that we can't not know an answer, because we can Google something, we can do some research on it. If we have the internet access, we can always figure something out. And I have students write me who are on the computer 24/7 probably, and they'll say, I don't know where to look for this, or I never, what does this mean?
You have to learn to ask the right questions.
You need to learn to Google.
I was going to say, speaking of math, I had a geometry class, and evidently I had a gift still then because I didn't know.
Right.
But he said, what's the answer to this equation? He put it up. And it was a triangle, and they were working on hypotheses. I don't know. Anyway, he was saying, what's the answer? I raised my hand. I gave the answer. He said that, and he was really surprised. That's surprise. And I said, that's right. How'd you get that? I says, I don't know. I just know that's the answer. Then you're wrong.
That was not the right answer.
I had somebody write an answer, and they went on and on and on about the great Civil War that Martin Luther King Jr. Was involved in the 60s. Yeah. And
the Great Civil War.
The Great Civil War. Yes. And I said, no, that's civil rights. That's totally totally different. It's funny what you get. It really is.
It is.
I remember saying also, is this character, did he use his brains or his brawn? Did he use his fists or his, his intelligence? And this guy wrote this whole paper on brains versus bronze, the cult, bronze, the metal. So yeah, it is. Yeah, I know. I could write a whole book on those things. They're amazing. So yeah, but it is because they didn't have critical thinking skills. And I know that Sharon, who is on her Strawberry Rhubarb Tarot, she was a teacher in Canada, and she said they've been doing that for 15 years up there. We just don't do it here. And they do mindfulness, they do critical thinking, they do all of that in the elementary level.
That's where it needs to be, is elementary.
It does. It does. It really does.
Meditation.
Right.
There were several schools that were going into meditation because as a regular thing. And if you had downtime after school, like you were staying after school, you were in meditation. They were learning that there are ways to avoid getting in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I thought it was
I like
great.
that.
It is. They never fully take advantage of it, but what are you going to do? You can only lead a horse to water. Yeah.
But they also found it worked, and so they
kept
going. So that worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just going.
And actually reading as well. There's no love of reading for young people. I get them sometimes. And I teach 2 sections of reading in college. One is 4th grade level, actually.
Wow.
And the other one is like 10th grade level. And
I can't imagine my life without reading. I
actually had a student in the 10th grade, 11th grade, and his level of reading was 4th grade. He really couldn't get any further than that, but we found ways. His discussion elements were great. So we sent her to class, but we
Yeah.
got, we got different level reading things for him.
Wow.
So
Yep.
he could.
I know
stay
there
in
are
class
some
and
people who
not
have a
to be with
problem.
me.
Yeah.
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 So, but yeah.
But I'll get people from other countries, China and so forth, and they read better than our Americans do sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes, discernment in the psychic community. We need to listen with our hearts and not follow the newest. Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
there are several people out there that have become too much of a guru.
I agree. There are. One of them is Teal Swan. Have you heard of Teal Swan?
Mhm.
You know who
Yeah.
he was?
I never resonated with her particularly. I listened to her many years ago.
Yeah.
I didn't resonate with her, but I know people that do listen to her.
They do. And there was actually a documentary on her. I don't know if it was Netflix or Hulu now. I can't remember.
I saw her throwing a fit about it.
Oh, well, she was throwing a fit about people not. It was very much like Scientology. You can't go home. You can't be with people who don't believe the same thing you do. You can't leave. You can't have a private life. You have to dedicate your life
to me. That's what she was teaching?
She was talking about it all the time, and she was arguing. There was a guy there that she had been with her for a long time as a person that she worked with, that lived there with her, and he met a woman and they got married. And she said, I don't know if you can marry her because you're going to divide your time, and I need you to, and the whole thing. And they eventually had to move out. And it was sad. It really was.
But even listening to people that you don't fully agree with, they may have some good teachings.
Yeah.
And if you can use your discernment to figure out
which is good things and which things you should let go.
I watch a couple of people that other people won't watch because something about them bothers them.
Sure.
But most of the message that I see is good. You just have to learn what resonates and what to let
go. You also can figure out what it is you don't want to do.
Exactly.
If it doesn't resonate with you.
That's right.
But I agree with you 100%. Sometimes, and we know this, sometimes our people that we despise or do not care about are our biggest, teach us our biggest lessons.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. I agree with you.
And I feel that the people who are the hardest to use your discernment with are your friends and your family.
Yeah.
You want to believe everything they say. And you forget about discernment, and that you really, really need to use discernment with your friends and your family.
Yeah.
People that you don't like so well, you automatically do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
True.
That's true.
You need to use your discernment at all.
I had to do that on Facebook. I had to decide that these people who were attacking me for whatever it was that my belief system was, I can't convince them that I'm right and they're wrong, and I don't want to anyway. Yeah. I just say, can't we agree to disagree? And some of them said yes, and some of them wanted me to come over to their side and would not let me go. And exactly. I had to let them go. I had to cut the tie and say, God bless you on your way as you go. We're kind of done here. And I hate that because I like to try to work things out with people, but it doesn't always work out.
She has a new saying that she really likes. You do you, boo.
You do you, boo.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. I have if people are going to be ugly for whatever reason, I block them. I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to argue. You're blocked.
You do you.
You go live your life however you want to, but don't try to tell me how to live mine because you're not me.
Yeah. Or people that don't even know you and they'll put a comment in something like, you're mentally ill or
just block
crazy or whatever.
Yeah. There's
no time.
That's one of the main reasons I didn't want to get involved in a YouTube channel was because how ugly people could be.
Could be, yeah.
In this community, boy, if somebody gets ugly, those moderators, boom, they're on them like a rooster on a June bug.
Absolutely.
So I'm okay. I'm okay.
I know. Yep. Yeah. Well,
Yay,
we've
thank
really
you, moderators, each and every one of you.
moderators,
Exactly.
subscribers.
All of
They're
you.
all so wonderful here, and we love them dearly.
We really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yep. Listening to your heart whispering until it becomes loud is an intentional practice. That's beautiful,
That's
Kate.
beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yep. Just that lub dub of your heart. And there's a place that I saw somewhere that you can go, and it's so quiet that most people can hear their organs. And
Wow.
I'm guessing they mean, of course, the heart, but I'm wondering if you can hear your probably your stomach or whatever it is.
Sometimes
But the
you hear
people,
your stomach anyway.
that's true. That's very true, especially if it's loud. But
That might be kind of
it's-
interesting energetically.
energetically, yes.
Yeah.
And they said that most people, I don't think there's been very many people that could do it more than an hour, because it was it's like an isolation. It wasn't a
An
tank.
hour is a
though.
long time, though, really.
It is a long time.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't meditate an hour. I meditate probably the longest I meditate is 30, 35 minutes.
But this is just like an isolation place. You don't necessarily have to meditate. You just go in and sit, in a very comfortable position. And, some people could doze off if they wanted to, if you think about it. But yeah. Wow.
Interesting.
Or they just leave.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I have a habit of leaving my body and just going somewhere else. I'm just not there.
No, that's cute, Sherry. Moderators unite.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, Diana, I don't know. You don't want that to come to your door, do you? I hope not, because I can't answer the door if that happens. My son was first at my house. The first time he ever came here, he was walking to come in the house, and I had a big Buddha out front. It's huge. And he's the last person you want somebody to try to convert, because he's not a believer in anything really. And these people came and said, yes, we'd like to talk to you. Are you the owner of the house and all that? And he said, no, my mother lives here. And, I'm just visiting or something. And so they said, oh, okay, well, do you know when the owner is going to come back so we can come back? And it was the Mormon people, I think, that were here because they live in the area. And he said, no, I don't really think so. As you can see, she has embraced another whole ideology. So I don't think so. She's very Buddhist, and it was just really funny. It was funny that,
David would give them a dose of their own medicine.
Yeah.
In what way?
And he would quote back at them.
Uh-huh. That's true. That would really blow their mind. Yeah. Yeah. Discernment, trust but verify. Just my personal opinion. That's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I got some advice that during this period of time, it was Diana. She's an astrologer, and she said what we're dealing with in these energies right now is check twice, act once.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that.
Yeah, so I can see that in this
That makes
particular.
sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely.
The world is just so chaotic and insane right now.
It
You
really
almost
is.
don't want to leave your house.
Yeah, I know. Here's one. Wiki says, I don't know why people even take the time to write something nasty if they. I agree.
I agree. Why
because
bother?
It's an energy thing. It's like I want to. You know what it reminds me? It reminds me of when you have a dog that urinates, and then another dog comes over and urinates on top of it because they want the power.
Yes.
They want their scent there.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
That's exactly what it's like. I have to admit, there's been a couple of things I've wanted to reply nastily to, and I've gone, no, I'm not going to reply. I just scroll right on by.
Uh-huh.
I want to know why we can't write nice things as easily as we can write nasty.
Yeah, I know.
Actually,
I know.
I think it's easier to write something nice.
Yeah, but why don't we?
I do all the time.
We get it because we're getting our emotions very much involved in it, and when we do that, we can't. It's like we're using all the
discern.
Yeah, you can't discern. You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Since this is a discerning show, everything
with
relates
discerning
to
guests.
discernment.
Yes, absolutely.
And intuition.
Oh, well, we're almost at time here, but I do want to recognize that this nice lady had asked, it's her dad's birthday in heaven today.
Aw.
Maybe we could pull a couple of cards for her
Absolutely.
if you'd like to. I'm sorry I didn't get to you earlier because it was more of a discussion we were doing, Beverly, but happy birthday to your dad in heaven.
Happy
Happy
birthday to
heavenly
your
birthday.
daddy in heaven.
Yeah. And I'm going to pull an angel card for you. Hopefully you're still here.
You want to try the energy tap?
Sure.
I'll help you with it
That's
if you
all right.
don't get it.
Oh, these so don't.
Don't want to. They're hard to shuffle, sorry.
They are. That's all right.
Oh, okay, Diana. The energy will be with us for this month and into September. Okay. Think twice, act once. Yep. Yep. Well, Beverly, I have the angel Jeremiel, who is the angel of symbols and dreams. And he's beautiful.
He's handsome.
Wonderful angel. Yeah. He brings you life lessons, emotional connections. So there's your connection with your father. Visions, claircognizance, and speaks to you through signs. When you feel stuck and need guidance, ask for me in dreams to give you clarity.
Mm-hmm.
It says here for you to look for a sign. So there might be something coming up for you today, something your father liked. Maybe I've smelled my father's pipe tobacco before, and that can happen sometimes. Or you'll hear a song that your dad liked, or you turn the TV on, and a show will be on that he liked. Something like that. Look for the signs. But
And mine is called Take Flight.
ooh,
And
nice.
what I was getting was that he wants you to go ahead and do something that you've been thinking about. Go for it. Do what you want to do and be happy about it.
Wow. There you go.
Lovely.
Yes. He'll be with you when you do it, I'm guessing. Yeah.
I don't know if you can see. Oh, you really can't see it. It's the angel of love. Tender connections.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know why it just doesn't show up very good here.
Yeah. It's okay.
Well, actually, that's it does. It's just that she has bright red hair, and it covers all.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
She's holding a heart, and it looks like a rose quartz heart. It's beautiful. Beautiful wings. Tender connections. Lovely.
I'd say he loves you very much.
I think you're getting a lot of love from your dad today.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when we think,
appreciates
we
that
only
very
have to think about them, and they're right there with you, you know? Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Wow.
But he wants you happy, so go after whatever it is.
Go after it, girl. That's right.
Do it.
I'm going to leave us with this, the awareness. Kate is my, whoops, I'm so sorry, everybody. Kate is my helper on the Dream Detective show. She's fabulous. She sees the awareness that your space with everything either supports you or brings you down. It becomes easier when the yuck disappears. That's right.
Sure does.
That does. That's
Beautiful.
Very nice. Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect ending to the show. Absolutely. Ladies, thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
And thank all of you down in the chat room.
Yes,
thanks
I know.
everybody.
Everybody's been fabulous. Yes, they're all thanking you as well. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. You have a wonderful day, and we'll see you later on. Thanks,
Bye,
ladies.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.